Brian, I'm so excited to
The
see you. How's Seattle?
actually in Spokane now, but it's
Oh,
good.
no,
I
it's it's the Northwest. Okay, I'm in
Yeah,
the Northeast. One of those. How's Spokane?
very, very pretty right now, actually. First couple days in the 80s, finally. We've had a lot of rain.
Wow, wow, wow. It's warmer than Seattle, right? Because you're inland.
Typically, yeah,
Yeah.
we usually get warmer, a little less rain.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot more sun usually. How
Everybody, we're so glad you're here. Type in where you are. I love to see that in the chat. Make sure you have it set to everyone. The blue thing at the bottom of the chat bar, not just host and panelists. So we
oh,
can
I see
see.
Elizabeth is actually from Seattle, so she she knows what's up.
We've got Yerushalayim, Clifton Park, Minneapolis, New Lenox, Illinois, Germany, Minnesota, Ecuador. Oh, the Black Hills of South Dakota. That just
Whoa.
is like conjures, you know?
Yeah,
Like
wow,
Arlen-
want to
Arlington,
illustrate that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania. Guess how many states I've been in, Brian? Because I was a
Like
hippie,
lived
drove
in,
across. No, drove through
drove through.
or lived in.
I'm gonna go
Continental
35.
49.
What? Whoa,
Everyone, every state but North Dakota.
really?
Yep.
That's crazy.
I was a crazy hippie. I had fun
That's
though.
so
We
fun.
traveled. There was no internet. There was no nothing. So you had to get out to be exposed to things.
Wow. Did you have like one of those like old school paper maps and like just
Oh
figure it
yeah.
out that way
Oh
or
yeah. You'd go to AAA. We will get to Brian in a minute, but this is my turn. So and we'll look at his gorgeous work and we're going to ask him how he went from full-time to being rep by Lilla Rogers Studio. So you would go to the AAA store or whatever. Does anybody
Mhm.
know what AAA is anymore? And you'd wait and then you'd say where you're going from San Francisco to Boston or something. And they would print out get these, not print out, no printing out, pull the maps out from the cubbies, stack them and take a highlighter and highlight every page.
Whoa. That there's something kind of exciting about that. Like I
I was
love
like,
the
yeah, I was like an explorer. I
yeah.
thought like it's about a car and
Yeah, having your phone just tell you where to go takes a wee bit of the fun out of it.
no, but it changed my life. I love it. I love that. Okay. So wait, are you here to did you all come to watch to hear me talk about my trip or oh yeah, I want you to meet Brian. Brian is so wonderful, so fun. You are going to have such fun today. Let me introduce him. So, Brian Lambert is an illustrator living in Washington State, where he is constantly inspired by the natural beauty around him, which you can see in his illustrations for sure. He worked for many years in the animation industry, doing commercial illustration and design work for companies like Portland Timbers, Fin Twist, and Pitney Bowes. Was that like full-time jobs or freelance?
Yeah, I was still freelance. But
Oh,
yeah, we did it. It was like probably I don't know. There was a couple really big ones for Portland, uh, and yeah, so that was like probably a whole year of work basically.
wow.
Uh,
But it was, so it wasn't like 9 to 5 corporate, but it was freelance for corporate.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So at the beginning of 2021, which was only a year and a half ago, he realized he wanted to make a shift from his career and chase his dream of becoming a children's book illustrator. How many of you relate to that? Type in me. Um, while researching how in the world people did this, I'm happy to hear he came across an ad for the Make Art That Sells courses. After a solid year of making a lot of art, this eventually led him to being repped by Lilla Rogers Studio, my agency, and getting his first 2 book illustration jobs. And we could not be happier to rep him and have him do his beautiful work. Good, good. So everybody wants to know, how the heck did you have the guts to do it? What made you want to go to be repped and be a full-time illustrator? Speak to that for a moment.
Yeah. So I guess a lot of the guts I owe a lot to my wife, in that she was very supportive. Like, because like we had kind of been talking, and I was kind of feeling unfulfilled, like doing, because a lot of the commercial stuff, they always want that, like there's that like corporate illustrator style.
Right?
Um, and you kind of have to make everything look like that to an extent. They give you a little leeway here and there,
Almost
but
generic. Did they give you like a color palette and
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, the most of the companies, not always, but a lot of them would have, like they'd send you a little thing of like 5 colors, and it's like make everything with these, like so like there's a couple illustrations where it's like they are crazy looking because of the colors of their like corporation. And it was just like wow, like
let me
yeah,
guess. Let me
no,
guess the colors. Navy,
oh yeah,
bright red or bright red, no pink, no purple,
oh
bright
no, definitely
yellow,
not.
green, and brown. How'd I do?
Yeah. I mean, there's always a combination of those ones. It's like, yeah, nailed it,
Uh,
100%. It was, yeah. So it was just a little unfulfilling. Like, I mean, I liked the work, but it was, I mean, I think for a long time I had kind of dreamed about like getting to illustrate books and all that kind of stuff, and I had like kind of half-heartedly tried to get into it a couple times before, but never. I feel like never like 100%. Like there's definitely a difference between going 100% and 20%.
and
And
was there something in particular that made you say, I I'm done. I got to do this. I'm young. I got to make this happen. What was it?
well, it was actually because so with the, I mean, it's right in the middle of the pandemic.
Mm,
And so we had actually decided to move to Spokane and in with my parents for a little while.
mhm.
And so it allowed me to be like, all right, I don't have to bring in like all a bunch of money all the time. Like, and
Art.
yeah, so like I was definitely very privileged in that regard, where like we had a location where we could stay, and we realized like this is an opportunity that I should not pass up, like because like this could set me up in a situation where like I like have a career like that I really want.
Yeah.
And so yeah, my wife was really supportive, with like, yeah, do it, like we are good, like she works, and so like we had income, and yeah, and then between my wife and my parents, both, all of them are just super supportive. Like I show them all my work as I'm making it. They're always like really like, yeah, or they give me feedback. So
That to me is the biggest advantage in life.
yeah,
People that
having
love your work, love you, believe in you. And people, if it's not your immediate family, make your own family. That's what I did. Make
definitely,
your own people and find the people that you're very supportive of and they're very supportive of you.
yeah,
But
I
I love
actually,
that.
yeah,
So you made an excellent decision to move in. I mean, that was a choice that you made, and it was a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. I mean, I think I would definitely say it paid dividends for sure.
So
And
great. They must have
yeah,
loved it. They
oh
my
yeah,
son moved in during the pandemic, and I'm like, this is so great. I was so happy. I'm like, well, the pandemic is kind of working for me because
right, yeah.
20s, and I'm like, I love it. Okay, so then you came across Make Art That Sells. Tell us about that and how the work, what you took,
Yeah,
you did.
the first one I took was the editorial class,
Mm,
and that was kind of just happenstance. It was like the one that it was like going live in like 2-3 days when I found it. It
good.
was like, oh
That
snap,
was a
I
good
gotta get
one
in
for
this.
you. That
Yeah,
was a
I
good
really
one.
love that.
Yeah. I remember you popped out. I'm like, where? where did this guy come from? Because it was like really good and really new. Like sometimes I have students who get better as they go. And so you're
Hmm.
used to them. But I do all the time. You student followers in the chat, like somebody comes along, they're like, wow, that's really okay. So you took editorial, which was really good for you because you we just focus on one manuscript over, what is that, 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah. So it's, yeah, kind of like working your way up through it. Did
Mhm.
a lot, like did some like spot sketches and stuff. And
Right.
I, I I actually credit that, like I don't know that I had like completely figured out my style and like how it is like I was gonna work like on every illustration. And like that class actually like solidified like in my mind of like, all right, this is how I make art, this is how I draw, and this is how I'm going to color things from now on. Like like
What did it for? Was it that the minis where I just had you draw little objects? So you
yeah, that
didn't.
was when it happened. Yeah, that
Okay.
I I'd kind of been playing with the style, and but then it just helped me to like figure out exactly how to do it, I guess. And I had been, I think every artist goes through that thing of like, what is in my style? Like what's unique about my voice? Like, is it like how I draw it, how I color it? Like, what is that thing, you know? And I was finally able to like just like settle in on it, which really helped. Like it just like not having to like figure that out before every illustration, like how's this gonna look like? And now I just like know how it's gonna look.
How, and you know how, because you do roughs.
Oh yeah.
Do you do little sketches of the objects first, or go right to the rough, or or both?
It depends on the thing. Right now, because I have like art directors, excuse me, um, they kind of like dictate that a little bit. But yeah, like so you get like a lot of like briefs that's like a bunch of pictures and stuff of like all those things. And I usually kind of like just go in on the sketch. Like I do the thumbnail thing, you know, where you like do like a super rough, like teeny tiny sketch where it's just like horrible looking, but you figure out the kind of the composition and everything.
Yeah.
Um, and then I kind of start drawing from there. I think because I've been drawing for so long at this point, like there's not a whole lot of things that I haven't drawn at least once in the past. And
Oh,
so I'm kind of able to fall back on that of like, oh, right, I know how to draw that. Like I've drawn it before. And so, you know, you just kind of riffed on your past experience.
that's great. So from your other job, your job before being a full-time free illustrator, you drew lots of different things. So you had that vocabulary, visual
Yeah,
vocabulary. Fantastic.
yeah. And
That's
yeah. And then even just like I I've started just kind of drawing while I watch TV too, you know. And that
that's
just
great.
allows you to draw other like random things without like thinking about it necessarily. Like there's something freeing about just doodling.
Oh, it's so relaxing. My mom, who's will be 99 in October,
Wow.
she draws uh, like with just paper and pencil or markers. She watches all the new, like MSNBC and CNN, and she says, perfect, Lilla. Everybody's just sitting there like this and they don't move. And she can just do all the
Oh,
portraits.
I never
Yeah.
thought about that. That's brilliant.
Isn't that great?
That
So
is
that's
so smart.
from mom, Jackie. Okay.
Tips
That's
from Jackie.
okay. So you took
For a new segment.
editorial. I think you did the trees communicating one.
Yeah, yeah,
So cool. Okay.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Really cool article.
Yeah. It was really a good one because it's very visual. I spend a lot of time picking the articles. I love that
Mm,
because it's got to be visual. It's got to be interesting. It's got to be a little different. It's got to be help expand people's portfolios, and because it's sort of it's naturey, sciency. I knew people would like the nature as
yes.
artist nature. Thank you, Lydia. And but I thought that also it was a strong woman, and also it's how trees actually support each other and communicate and exchange resources, and plants underground. So nice. And you can take it self-paced, by the way. But so you
Worth
did
it.
that, worth it. And then what? Oh, and you know what I
Let's
love
see.
about that course? You remember how I gave like a list of things you're supposed to draw, but I
Yeah.
didn't want to give like trees, scientists, cells, communication, you know, or something. So I throw in like giraffe, bathtub, sewing machine or something. I think I was,
Yeah, definitely the sewing machine. I remember the
yeah.
sewing machine
Well, I have
vividly.
three right over there. So I'm, what can I put in sewing machine? I think I put in sewing machine a lot, but I like to throw people off. Oh, and a cupcake. Thank you, Lydia. I throw them off
Yes.
the scent because I don't want you going right to the finish. You know, just
It,
draw a freaking little cup. Oh, and then something easy like a cup, right? Because like, okay, I could draw a cup. You know, I like everybody can draw a cup, right? Like when I was an
yeah.
illustrator and I needed to warm up, I would draw a cup. Like I'm like, I can't
Oh.
draw. I don't even know why they assigned me. I can't even draw anything. And I don't know how I'll do it, you know, whiny. And then I'd like to start a cup and I drew cacti because it's a
Mm,
little a cactus in a little vase, so a little square, and then a little like any old block with spikes coming out and pastel. Like you can't f it up. So that
oh
was
yeah.
confidence. Okay.
Yeah, I love drawing cactus. They're so fun.
Oh, great. You can't mess it up. Okay. So you take editorial, then what happens? And you did really well. And you
Um,
got a review or so.
yeah, that was exciting.
Mm,
Yeah, it was, yeah,
that
pretty
gave you
ecstatic about that.
confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And you tell your wife, honey, guess what? She goes,
Yeah,
"God." And then
yeah,
what?
she was very excited for me. Like, yeah, I was like, wow. So that was really cool. I'm trying to think, what was the next class I took? It was must have been um, it wasn't the toy one. It was the one. It was maybe it was boot camp. It might have been the boot camp.
Okay.
I
We
think
know
it was
by
boot.
your art. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was boot camp, and then yeah, because that was the one with the journals, right?
Oh, Nancy Salas says yes, boot camp. Val says it was redrawing Black history. Maybe both.
That Rejoin Black History was the very last one I took right
That
before
was this one.
you signed. Was able to sign with you. So yeah,
Wow.
it went boot camp toy and then redrawing Black History.
When did you do kid book illustrating
I
children's?
never did.
What?
I'm just winging it. I don't know what I'm
Oh
doing.
my God. Well, you know what? You should, we just ended it, but you get all the classes free now that you're with me. You knew
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
I
go in, like just go in and like at least you can listen to the audio or the reviews while you're working, you know.
I never thought of doing that. That's really smart. I'll
Yeah.
do that. I don't know
Yeah.
why I didn't think of doing that.
I think you know, it's always great. I had no idea. That's hilarious. That's gonna be helpful.
Yeah, yeah. No, you
Well,
definitely would have been a good one to take before getting two
right.
books, but oh well.
Yeah, before like having a full-time career as a children's book illustrator.
Yeah,
Oops. That's
yeah. You fake it till
hilarious.
you make it, right? That's the whole idea.
You know, you're smart. You took enough courses to get like also to get the drink the Kool-Aid of like do your warm-ups, ease
Yes,
in, you know, like it's all about kind of chilling, right?
definitely. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think getting yourself in that space to be able to draw and create is so helpful. Like
Mm. How do you
it,
do
it
that?
can.
How do you get yourself to sit down and work? Is it
Uh, at this point, I mean, I'm able to sit down and work pretty easily. At this point, like it's just a routine. At this point, you get to a point where at 9 o'clock, I'm drawing, and
and you're
so
excited to do it and it's a routine?
yeah,
Okay, but before you had it as a routine, I guess the class helped,
I think
but still,
yeah, having that class, like having that kind of expectation of creating something, like in having people like whether or not they're actually expecting you to do it, you have the feeling like they expect you to do it. And that for me was really helpful because it's like, all right, I got to get this done. Like there's a deadline. Like I love deadlines. Like deadlines really help. Like,
100%,
yeah, like
100%.
having someone else have some expectations of you delivering that, it spurs you. Like it gets you moving, it gets you going. You work quicker, but you don't take as many like unnecessary breaks.
Breaks. Yeah.
Um,
It's,
and yeah, I
it's
mean, I'm a
for
fairly self-motivated person, but even I have a
real.
tendency to get distracted, like, oh, what's happening on TikTok today? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
Well, so when I wrote my first maths class in 2013, yeah, we're not in
whoa,
2020,
that's
2013.
insane.
Isn't that amazing? So I'm
Wow.
writing my first maths part A. We just called it, I think, maths or something.
Hmm.
So I'd go work out and then go to the cafe and write every like Tuesday and Friday. And for me, that was like, I had a deadline, but also I had it slotted. And
Yeah.
I loved going to work out with my trainer. And I loved the energy I had after. And then I got to get a really nice cup of coffee and do
Mm,
the work. So I'm writing this. I'm like, how are people so on an online course, internet course? How do people do that? This is almost 10 years ago. Like,
yeah.
like what's an course? What, like in college? Like, so I'm like, how am I going to get them to freaking deliver? And then I realized I need a deadline every week. And then did we have reviews in Matt's Hay? Yeah, we did. And I remember how hard it was to narrow down. We had 500 students in that first class. Yeah. Hi, Jan
Whoa,
Girardi, our
really?
director. Yeah.
Man.
And um, so I'm like, that's what it is. I'm gonna have they have to submit, they have a deadline, a gallery, and maybe get in the review. And the thing of the review, even though it's brutal and I hate that I can't pick everybody and I'm like too whatever, I know I'm a loser, but um it does make everybody try their best, right? You want to get in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speak to that.
I'm very competitive actually. And so I get a competitive nature even to it where it's like when
Good.
I see people like putting out this like amazing art and it's like, oh, I gotta be that good. Like I gotta do that.
I'll see you and raise you. I'm
Right?
confident. Yes.
Yeah.
So cool.
And I'm sure every artist has that when like you feel like you stumble on this like idea that you just are so excited about and it's
Mhm.
like, oh, I gotta get this made. Like I cannot wait to like create this thing. And like I feel like these classes do a good job of like kind of fostering that situation because you do get competitive and it's like, I want to make the best thing possible.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And that competition is fantastic. Competition or competitiveness sometimes has a bad rap. I mean, it's not like you're going to like destroy your enemies. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's like you
Yeah.
want to like get in the game and push. It's wonderful. You know,
Yeah.
I used to say, I just like to be the best at whatever I do. That's all. Just like to be
Yeah.
the best. Is that so wrong?
Yeah. I don't need other people to lose. I just want to win. No.
I want everyone to win.
Yeah.
It's great. Everyone can win. Like my winning
Uh,
doesn't make other people lose. Like I want other agents to succeed. I want other
mhm.
illustrators to get agents or to get great jobs. It's like it's all good. We can all win. It's yeah,
Yeah. I,
that's how the universe works, in my
I
opinion.
I feel really like kind of blessed to like live in the time we do because
Yeah,
like you're able to see so much art like from so many different periods and
right,
like I mean like, we're able to see stuff from like 1,000 years ago
right.
like up to the present. Like there's so much and it's all so amazing. There's never been a time where you could be inspired by more than there is now. And it's so easily accessible.
And I don't think, I mean, when I was an illustrator, it was before the internet, mid 80s to mid 90s. And well, the
Mhm.
internet started in about what, when did it start?
I
90s?
think 80s, right? Or maybe 90s. I don't
Not
know.
the
I don't know.
internet.
I
Uh,
remember AOL.
and so you had to move to New York, and there were really amazing illustrators, and people had, I think the styles seemed more varied, maybe, maybe not,
Mm,
but there weren't that many illustrators. And
there's a lot.
I want to say that maybe the work is even better than then. I don't know. I think there was amazing work then too, but not as much. Now there's like a jillion great artists. There's so much great work, which, don't freak out. What it means is more art is being bought on, look at this, for instance. These are by my artist, Fabric. Okay, like it used to be just like little calico prints. Look, there's just more art on everything. More art, better art. We are going to give this away, by the way, at the end, so stay tuned for that. I mean, there's just art on everything. Okay, let's look at your gorgeous portfolio.
Oh yeah.
Screen, and here we go. So Brian,
Okay.
did you, how did you, how do you get color? How do you find color?
So yeah, so this one was like really fun because I actually took the color. So you had put a post of like your ceramics with like some color splotches and everything, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun to use those colors. And so that's actually where most of these come from. Like the base colors come from that, and then I kind of like take those and then kind of add a few more here and there. Like
Mhm.
I think uh, one of the best things I think maybe I ever did as an artist was actually like study photography, like books about like lighting and like color in that regard, because I think that really helps you understand like how to do lighting and like just how colors react with one another. And it lets you like have a nice understanding of color interactions, I think.
Well,
And
I think
so,
I'm sorry,
oh no, go for it. Sorry.
up until this point, I think you were using cool colors, mostly like blues and gray.
Definitely.
And this introduced a lot of warm colors and pastel softer and your bold colors. So I feel like
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
really
And we had actually kind of talked about that a little bit. And
cool.
so it's another situation where like having people there to push you and make you like try new stuff and try and expand your like artistic knowledge, I think is so valuable. Like we can always do it ourselves, but having someone to
Oh,
kind of like hold you accountable almost, like it's so helpful.
really good. Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, let's move to, I mean, this one was one of the reasons I took you on. I just everything about it I found so compelling. Um,
Yeah,
this
this
coming up from the grave. The story, the stylization of the trees and look at these clouds, people. That is definitely cool. The rendering of this character is really, really a good kid. I need to see a good kid. Why? Because if I'm going to take somebody on, I need them to get work for the agency's sake and for the artist's sake. So when I see a kid like this, the proportions are good, the face is good, the braids, the like specificity of the plaid skirt and the little socks and shoes. It's in the hat. It's wonderful. The ghost, the wolf, this cat is too cute. So much thought and information that he put in the pumpkins of different sizes, shapes, and colors. These what are these feathery things called?
I forget what they're called, but you see them in a lot of fall stuff. And I was like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Big. So I loved that. Okay. What
Yeah.
was this for,
This,
Bri?
what was that?
What was this one for?
So this was like kind of like a comeback illustration, I felt like, because I had hurt my wrist and I hadn't been able to draw for like
Oh,
3 months. And then I finally got the go ahead, like, yeah, like go for it. And it was Halloween was coming up, and I was like, all right, like I want the thing I make to be like awesome, like almost to like prove to myself that I could still do it even. And so I just like really went for it, like, and
You
like kind of
roasted it.
like, yeah, took all the stuff I had learned from all the classes, and yeah, like I guess it kind of did solidify, like this is like the style that I do everything in now, basically. And so
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It was, and I saw that in your work because, to be honest, I did need to see you do broader color range. I
Yeah.
love blues and grays, but it limits, and also warmer colors sell really well because that's what people, if you're going to buy something, not always, but it does help to have in your portfolio. Okay, talk to me about this. What was this for?
This was actually for the little like prompt for, what was it? I didn't actually end up being able to take the class really, because I ended up getting both the book jobs at that time. But
Yeah, we can talk about the book
it,
job. Oh, character boot camp, says Lydia.
yes, it was for character boot camp. Yeah, it was like the donut, like a character donut, but I was like, I really want to draw a squirrel, so I drew a squirrel.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, the famous
Ah,
penguin, great
the
kid.
penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the characters for a book I've written that I still need to share with you, Laura.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And
Yeah,
go on and click the link. I'm working with 11 artists from the residency and they're crushing it. They're crushing
yeah,
it.
I wanted to take that residency so bad. Yeah, I've just been so busy, but
I'm
yeah,
sorry that we got you books. Okay. I'm sorry. So
I know. How could you do this to me?
I don't,
How was life?
I mean, and I'm selfish. So, okay.
Yeah,
No, that's great. There's
yeah,
no time limit. You can do it anytime.
yeah. You'll get. I will send you stuff. I will
Okay.
send you stuff.
Okay. You book an appointment and then send me stuff like 5 days in advance and send
Perfect.
first I need to see the blobby. So you go into that class, my kid book pitch. Do you know that one? The writing class.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah.
You get the blobby worksheet and you have to fill that out first. You can
Oh,
fill
okay.
that out and then do the storyboarding sheet where it's just really simple clumping out what goes where. You're not writing it, you're putting right what goes where. And you can all hear this too, by the way. This is good for all of you. And you can take the course in October. And then, oh, thank you, Tori. And then what you're going to do, once you have that, because that's the what and where, the biggest issue with illustrators is they just want to do these gorgeous scenes. They picture it all in their head. And the narrative, the arc is like, blah, 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 blah. And then we have to go first this, then this, then this. And you got to sell people on who the character is, why we care about the character, what their issue is, what is the problem. And you don't tell it, you don't say, I am always losing things. You can say that, but then you show maybe some vignettes of losing things and then, but why that matters because something is coming up and you lost this and you forgot that and then and why then it all comes together for the denouement, the like the I the mess. And then what happens is then it's resolved. So that's the
Yeah.
simple formula.
I, Riley actually turned me on to this book. So it's all about like story structure and like how
Oh,
to structure a story.
why don't I have that? Okay.
Yeah. And
Save the
yeah, I
cat.
actually read this right before I wrote
Oh,
uh,
good. Okay.
this, and I think it really helped. I felt really good about the the writing, which is it's something I don't really do. Is I don't really
Save,
write. So yeah,
well, here it's called Save the Cat, Lydia.
save the
So
cat.
here's the thing. We all, not everybody draws, you know that, but everyone
Yeah,
writes. you write emails, you know how to write words. Like you have this leg up. Illustrators can write. They just, we think, oh, like what is syntax? And you don't need to know any of that. Okay.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous. This was
Oh
for
yeah.
my redrawing Black history with Tamisha.
Hmm.
This is
Yes.
so beautiful.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had a blast with this. I had this idea of the statue in my head, and like I knew that I wanted it to be like this interesting rainbow effect through the whole thing.
mm,
And so that it kind of just it took me a while honestly to figure out how to make it look good. But
you
yeah, I
really,
was like taking a lot of different colors and just kind of blending them together until it was like turned out into something like pretty.
you know what? Now I see what you mean about studying photography. I mean, you really like right people. Can you see like there's something about that lighting of the statue at the bottom and everywhere. Look at the this thing over here, peacock.
Yeah,
It's really
choosing a location, like a direction of light, is really helpful. Like you don't have to like make it like realistic, but just like having highlights show up from that direction, uh it just makes a piece look more believable. So
sure,
like,
sure.
yeah.
And having those tools allows you to stylize more because if you stylize too much, it's like I don't even know what this is a drawing of. But if you have some of the tools like light and shadow, like here, you get the
Yeah.
thickness. Here's my advice to you. I really like this lettering. I would do the Ammonia Lewis, excuse me, in that style instead of the
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I've actually the little I've been trying to actually get better at lettering because that is a part I have a hard time with. I actually used a TikTok tutorial like to make the lettering on the little post I just did for this webinar.
great,
And,
whatever
yeah,
works.
it was a
Lettering,
lot of fun.
you can letter. Pauline, I don't know, like maybe click escape or it's hidden somewhere.
I
Okay.
can't see. Oh shoot.
Okay. The famous Tiger Journal.
Yeah.
Colors. Here you really crush the colors. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
yummy. This
I
this magenta plum violet ultra is
yeah.
just really rich because you go a little darker and then get lighter. It's like velvet. You know how velvet has a nap, it changes.
Yeah, yeah. Got that like kind of shimmers almost.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it when you can manage to get like a color to do that like kind of shimmery nature to it, where it's like you have all that like texture and everything. I the magenta next to that yellow is like one of my favorite color like pairing. There's just something really
See my
pleasant to
earrings?
me about it. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh my
They
gosh.
match you. They match your heart.
That's amazing.
Okay, this lettering. What's that from?
Yeah, so I mean, I took the picture, put it into Photoshop, or maybe it was Illustrator, and then I did like I made the type there, and then I took that back into Procreate and traced the lettering so that it had like the correct
Fantastic.
texturing and everything.
Beautiful. I love
Yeah,
it. And I love that it looks a little hand drawn and you could even do a little more hand drawishness with that. It's really beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah, look what he does too. So he's got this kind of ephemera look, but then he's got this thing and these squiggles, but the squiggles change color and a line. He doesn't just say, okay, I'm going to do this circle 10 times. He changes the size. It's not filled in here. It's repeated here, but just once, there's just a lot of variety and some things only once. It's beautiful.
yeah. And also one thing I do, so those two little circles, like they're similar, but I actually redrew it each time. So there is slightly like a little bit of difference between each circle too. Like just like
Oh,
taking that extra
yeah, mushy.
moment to, yeah.
You like what I did? I'm 12 inches.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's cool though. Wow. That's beautiful too, right? Yeah.
I got lucky because I had all the layers. Then I didn't mush them together. It made it easy to
We're gonna
change the
talk
colors.
about we're gonna talk about brushes too. Okay, then there's this. Like, wait, what? This is like a different, not a different look, but like an extension of your look. And I was really happy to see it. It's very contemporary. It's always great to have people, always great. I would
Yeah,
also recommend you do people in scenes of all ages. I mean, maybe
yeah, it's a good idea.
I like
I know.
the two people kissing. I don't know if they're two men, and that's cool. You don't have to know if this is a man or woman.
Yeah, I kind of purposely left it like
Yeah,
you. Yeah, like
fluid.
it's
Yeah,
whatever you want. Yeah.
that's great. Love it. Love her hair. Okay.
Yeah, that was actually it's the your color blobbies. That was like my take on it.
Oh, nice. That works, doesn't it? Okay, this was great. This was for the toy class, right? Or
It was for the boot camp, but it was like the lead in to like the first I think toy.
okay.
Uh, and
Oh,
it actually made me take the toy one because I had so much fun doing it. I was like, wow, I really want to do it again.
yeah, you got to work with Riley. You have been, yeah. That's
Yeah, yeah, Riley. I love Riley.
I love
He's
Riley.
just the best.
I know. So, by the way, any artist that I represent can work with Riley on toy and game development. So that's
Yeah,
marvelous.
yeah. We have a game in that we've been developing, and I haven't had time to work on it for like a month now. But
Yeah,
I love working with him. He's just he's so full of energy and
I
ideas, and like
know.
he gets you to like build on your ideas, and like
Oh,
it's so fun riffing with him
I know.
about like stuff.
That's why I
Love it.
said, right, we got to do a toy class together and you're teaching it with me because he's
Yeah, he.
the
Oh,
greatest. Love him. This is so, so beautiful. One of your best. Okay.
thank you.
Boot camp graphic novel. This is like a trivia game. We should do, oh my God, we should do that. We should have a newsletter or something where we show the different work and people have to guess what assignment. But we'll have
That's
one like from like 5 years ago to like a really tough one.
yes.
That could be
That is a lot of fun. I love
Wouldn't
that
that be
idea.
fun?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
need to do
Lydia
that for
loves the
sure.
bingo card in the recent email. Thank you, Lydia. Yeah, I made that the newsletter today. I made that a few years ago because it's like I need people to see. You don't have to fill out the whole. So, who got the bingo card today in the new Matt's newsletter? I guess you all did because oh well,
Yeah.
you're all on Matt's, right? Okay, Matt's newsletter. So I needed people to understand that you can't just draw like still lifes. Don't forget, this was a few years ago. I think everybody now knows diversification. So, like, do you have wildlife? Do you have kids? Do you have scenes? And all that. So that's why I made it. This I
Yeah.
love. Talk to me about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like, I think it was, you gave us this character and we were to redraw them, like kind of with like the things that symbolized them and like kind of like try and tell a story. I think that
Like,
was what the idea was.
I think it was like, was this right, people? Where I give you like the vintage oddities, like an old picture of a
Yeah. Yeah.
man and probably a die. Oh yeah, because I have this little bus thing and
Yeah.
the book, there
Yeah.
was the book on rocks and minerals, that vintage book. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I kind of had this idea that he's like the bad boy of Canasta. And it's like,
That's a book. Oh
yeah.
my God.
You're like
This-
this like slick like gambler type, like it's
I
just
like the
too cool for this
tattoos on
world.
his, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God. It's,
It was,
I love this. I want to see more like this. This is so good. This is a book cover. This is adult book cover. Okay. So let's
oh,
get you adult book covers.
I am into that. That would be a blast.
Let's do more people or
Yeah,
scenes. Just, Google like top book covers.
yeah.
Is
I'm gonna do that. Because yeah, I loved doing this piece. Like it was so fun and just
beautiful.
like,
I'm
yeah,
crazy
had a
about it.
blast.
I'm crazy. What is this? I don't
That's
even
like a
know.
gem. It's like this like
Okay.
bird's eye gem or something. I
Yeah,
think
it
that's
looks
what it's
like an
called.
eye. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even care that I don't know what it is because it's just, it's like provocative. Look at this with the rules crossed out. Does that say everything? The poker
He's
chips?
such a bad boy.
Oh my God. I may be doing another graphic novel in the boot camp that starts in August. I may, and I can't wait to gather that
Oh,
stuff for it. Because it's,
Lilla,
yes, ma'am,
look,
sir.
look at this. Look at this book that I have,
Yes.
and it's like all about making comics, and it is amazing. And
Oh,
like,
that
actually,
comes
it
with
has
it.
this. It has this one page that I've actually been using
Wait,
for
let
the
me
children's
stop the
book,
share. Okay.
and
Oh,
it's all
wow.
about page flow and everything, and like how your eye tracks through pages.
Oh, will you flip
Um,
flip through a few pages? Is it all like graphic novel style?
yeah,
Oh,
the whole
so
it's
they're
all a
teaching
graphic
it.
novel. Yeah,
Okay.
and it teaches you how to make it.
Okay. Well, now I'm buying two books. What's this one called?
It's called Making Comics by
And
Scott McCloud.
is it recent or like kind of old fashioned?
It's kind of old. I wonder, let me look when it was actually published, but I've had it a long time. 2006.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I actually have been using it a lot for the children's book because like just like that understanding of how your eye tracks through a page. You're like, it's really helpful.
You know what I love about you is you grow and you know how to grow and how to find resources. It's really, isn't that impressive, everybody? Okay, everybody get off Amazon, please. Excuse me. We're having a webinar.
Yeah, come back to us.
Oh, they're all- I know. Leave a few copies for me. Okay, this was the one about the trees communicating.
Yeah,
Uh,
this was so fun.
yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the brief or the I guess it was like an article, not so much a brief, but it was just really fascinating. Like I had no idea that trees communicate with one another by like sending everything, and
Yeah.
uh, yeah. So I just was like kind of like brainstorming how to do that, and like kind of had like how like when you lift a rock and there's all these bugs under there and everything,
Yes.
like that was kind of the idea, but it was like, all right, she's like lifting it and like seeing instead of bugs like this like information network, and like I guess they actually like send a bunch of different like molecules and
Source.
stuff
Yeah.
to each other, and so like yeah, like when I was looking at like different like those like old like they always had those like molecular models from like high school and college, and so that was kind of where I based these off of because they're always those colored
Those
balls.
wooden balls. Yeah. And the like,
Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, so that's what I like, that was kind of the idea behind it, and then like kind of just making it graphical,
Mhm.
using because like I've done graphic design a lot longer than I've done like illustration, so like I kind of draw on that experience, and
It's
like
so good. Well, because look, you've got this horizontal, you've divided it like 2/3, 1/3. So here's this section, strong horizon. But look, by her cutting through it, she pops, it creates energy. It's like this is more static in a good way, like boom, boom, and then she breaks through. Um,
yeah, and I tried to do like slightly triangular, so like there's like a slight triangle coming from the top down, so like if your eye does start at the top, it hopefully brings you down to her.
Instantly. Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And look at these mushrooms. Like he didn't just I love that people don't often do this kind. Turkey. What are they called? My husband would know.
Yeah, I actually just drew a bunch more of those for one of the books I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Love how
Yeah.
the viewers know everything. Just so cool. Okay. Isn't this fun? Are you all having fun in the chat? I am. You can tell. Brian's so fun to be with. Love her. Love
Oh
her.
yeah.
Love her. Okay.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I loved doing this one.
What was it
I
for?
I actually owe this illustration. I owe a lot to my wife too. Like she really helped me because I was really struggling with the background actually on this one. Like trying to figure out like how to make her pop correctly, but not like it. I was really struggling like keeping her prominent in the picture. So your eye goes to her first
Mhm.
rather than anything else. Like, and so I'm not sure I totally cracked that nut, but
You did. You
the like,
totally pulled it off. I'm glad that it's just very calming and pale in the background,
yeah,
but soft.
yeah,
Yeah, you cracked that nut. Yeah.
yeah. From the very beginning, I had this idea of her like she was like in this tranquil like water, you know, like rising up out of it, as it were, and like from that, like all these plants like circling up around her.
Mm.
Um, and then it kind of turned out I was like, oh, I could use her dress to be all the plants. Um, and
Ah,
then it kind of started falling together from there. But yeah, like I had finished her and I could not figure out that background. I was like trying so many things, and my wife was trying to like you don't need to make the background like something truly like epic or special. Like
yeah,
like she's the subject,
totally,
and that was and it was like you're right. Like, oh my gosh, you're so right. And then we just
totally.
like tried a couple colors and we
Yeah.
fell on this.
Well, it's also very confident too. It's not like I have to throw everything into, hopefully people will like something of the picture, how we
Right.
do that. This is very confident and powerful, very powerful. She's like such a strong Black woman. I love that. My question is, oh, what does your wife do? Is she in the arts?
No, she's a therapist actually. Yeah.
That's convenient. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's the best. That's so good. Okay, so this, did you just do it for a personal piece, or was it for class?
This was for one of the classes. Was it boot
Retail
camp?
class
Might have
history?
been boot camp.
Someone will know. People in the chat, what was this for? They know everything. I couldn't do without
Yeah,
them.
it was yeah,
Oh,
boot camp.
Viola Davis. Was that wasn't character boot camp of it. That was my thing. Did I have
Yeah,
you
it
do
was just
Viola
the
Davis? I don't remember. Oh, that was like a year
I know
ago.
it all starts to blur together.
It does. Boot camp
I
was,
imagine for you it's even more difficult because you do way more.
oh, it was a warm up. Okay. Yeah,
Oh, is
that
that what it
makes
was?
sense.
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm teaching illustrating children's books right now. Just finished a Zoom on Monday for boot camp. I'm writing another course, and then I'm
Oh,
writing
that's
a
cool.
brand new course soon. So I'm crazy, and I'm reading all my artists' stories, but I like it that way. Like it that way. That's how I roll. I like to, be active. This is such a good cover. This is so strong. I can barely. Oh, or card. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, it's a card, but we can make it a book cover too. Well, I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, exactly. So you sent it to Susan. You sent it to all of us, right? We have this.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah,
Okay, because they'll submit it for card. Sneak peek
yeah.
of new class. Oh, Missy, do I want to tell you? Do I? But we'll see. Oh yeah, yoga. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
Beautiful map. I'm going to move along because we want to do the giveaway.
I know we're running
And
out of
then the
time here.
famous Cat Two Cats, which Riley went
The
nuts over
Katu Cats. Yeah,
for the
yeah.
toy class. And yeah, he just loved it. He's like, we got to talk about taking on Brian. So this is really fun. Beautiful car. Really great. Yeah, this is very like more graphic design and more like analytical, but I think that's so good to have in your portfolio too. It's different. Ocean
Yeah,
Channel. What a cool game, man. Wow.
yeah, I'd like to
Okay.
have it.
This also, I'm like, I love so. First of all, this is really such a nice deco-y touch. So
Thank
nice.
you.
And then just, you know what you're doing here, the long shot, medium shot, the close up,
Thanks to
skinny.
this.
Hey, I'm buying it. I'm going to the country on Tuesday with my kids and there's no internet. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
buying those two books, man. This
yeah,
is
they're good.
this was for boot camp. That
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, editorial, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I think this was the very first thing I ever submitted to your classes.
Mm.
Fairly certain.
You can see it's earlier work. I mean, you have
Yeah,
your own, but like this texture, how the green and blue is just really like I look at this and go, okay, I like where he's going. I want to, and here, I want to see more and more you gave.
yeah, yeah. That was me just trying to figure out, like, all right, this is kind of working. Like, I think I can make this into something. Like,
Oh, goodness. Yeah, you do one part that you love and you're like, oh, I'm blowing that out in the next piece like that. Yeah. That's what I love. I always feel like I was a scientist as an illustrator. Like I would do something cool. And I'm like, I want to explore that further. I want to like do that next. And that
yeah,
kept me motivated to go on. Okay. That was wonderful. Will you tell us what Procreate brushes you use if you care?
yeah. I can. So, oh, hold on my iPad. Well, so yeah, so I use a brush from maxpacks.com, maxpacks, and it's the 9B pencil. Let's see.
Oh, wow.
Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah, isn't that fun to see his working space?
So you
Max
also notice
Max
that there's
nine.
like a bunch of different, like there's the bunch of the 9B that I take them and I like change them slightly. So like I get like the same texture and everything, but like they're
Mm,
for different stuff, I guess.
interesting.
Yeah. So like I tend to have one that like lays down more color so that I don't have to press so hard to like make the like harder shapes, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and then Bardot, and then my other one I use is from
Yes.
bardotbrush.com. And it's just the Bardot pencil that I use, which is part of their pencil pack. And
Okay.
that's yeah. And then the first one from Max Pack is just the essential pack, which it's like $5. It's like the best $5 I've ever spent in my life.
Incredible. That's great. Okay. So everybody, it is time for the giveaway. And this is what we will send you. This is fully illustrated by Sarah Papworth. And it is incredible.
So pretty.
Isn't that gorgeous? And such an important book. 50 LGBTQ plus people who made history. How great is that?
That's such a fun like coffee table book. Like
Yeah,
is oh, it
so
looks so
beautiful.
pretty. Lydia said chartreuse.
What's that?
Lydia said chartreuse.
Yeah, look at this. Wow, James Baldwin. It's amazing. Her different color palettes, her different stories every freaking time. Wow.
So good.
Okay. So HarperCollins Children's. Nice. Good job. So we asked Brian for a category. We're going to say the category. You can guess as many times as you want. And you can, and then we will pick the first one that we see. It might not be the first one, but Kim in the background and I and Brian will be looking for the correct answer. Everybody got it? Type okay if you got it. You get what you get and you don't get upset. If maybe you said it first, but we didn't see it. We apologize. That's how it goes. Thank you. Okay. The category is animal. An animal. An animal that he likes. Animal Brian likes. Oh, they're guessing all your animals. That's good. Not yet.
I'm surprised no one.
Oh, it's
there
not.
it is. Kathy Malloy. I got Kathy Malloy.
Okay. All right. That's great.
Kathy Malloy. Boom.
If
Okay.
you can email me, Kim, Kim at lillarogers.com, and we'll organize to get that sent out to you. Congratulations.
Mhm. And allow a few weeks for us to mail it.
Nice.
And where do you live, Kathy Malloy? What country or city or state or planet?
Metro Detroit.
Oh, good. It's not international. Patty will be happy.
Thank goodness.
Wonderful. Congrats. Brian, this was so wonderful. So
Yeah, I loved it.
so thrilled about your books. We didn't even talk about how you attack doing children's books. Maybe we'll do another one. We could talk about how you get that done and how great
Yeah.
it is and how you love it. And but it was just really great to dive deep into your portfolio.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. It's always a joy talking with you.
It's so great. So let's see. And if you want to know, go to Make Art That Sells, of course, to sign up for any classes. And I'm supposed to tell you that you can sign up for my toy pitch now. It is static hybrid, so there will be a live review at the end, but it's self-paced. So you can bop around, do it at your own pace. And then I think in like July or August, there'll be a review that Riley and I will do. And Riley's going to randomly pick somebody, and you get a full hour with Riley to talk about your ideas or show what you've done. Anything that is like amazing.
Dang, that's like $1 million prize right there.
That's
Shoot.
$1 million. It cannot be bought. Although he should do it. He should consult that way.
Yeah, he should.
Good. Okay, and then sign up for assignment boot camp, my class, August 1. You will not regret it. The assignments are my best yet, and there may or may not be graphic novel in there again, everybody's favorite. And the first assignment is going to be really, really good for your career, really broaden you. The second one, also great, and it is using your art and your voice to have impact. That's a little sneak. So I'm excited. And you'll see something I did for something visual a few years ago, and it like went a little bit viral on social and did end up on the stage somewhere. So you read about that. Isn't that tantalizing?
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everybody. This was wonderful. I really enjoyed talking to you, Brian. I know everybody loved hearing all your great insights and your books. I'm going to Amazon right now. And that's great, everybody. And you see, he just stayed focused. He surrounded himself by people who were supportive, and he kept working, and he figured out what he needed to know and used books for support or brushes and the courses and everything that made it that made him grow. And now he is an agent. Lilla Rogers, I've heard of her. She's okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Pretty good.
You know, whatever. And now he's busy. So there you go. There will be a
Very
replay, Missy. Yes. Kim, when does the replay go up? Maybe tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll try to get it up this afternoon, but by tomorrow at the latest.
You know, do we put a link for the replay in a newsletter?
We don't normally do it in a newsletter. I usually put it on Instagram and then on our homepage, and then it's also available from the
Oh.
blog section of our website.
Wow, isn't she amazing? We
Yeah.
could put it in a newsletter if you think, it's up to you. But this was so good. I want everybody to see it. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brian. Have a great
Thank
weekend.
you.
Almost. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.